scale. What I'm looking for is a huge integrated complex. That nature reserves a big enough area. See, I want to put business, recreation, vacation, leisure all on the same site, similar to here.
Well, that's not what it said on the planning application.
One step at a time, Gerald.
So, in addition to a marina...
No, not just a marina. Think about it for a moment. You have a lot of people all traveling from near or far to be on or close to their boats. The whole thing, it's tailor-made for other facilities. Club, fitness center, jacuzzi, swimming pool, sauna, squash courts, tennis courts. Even have a creche for the kids, if you like. Gerald.
Hmm?
Are you listening to me?
Forgive me, Charles. It's been a bit rough lately.
What has?
I seem to have hit a bumpy patch with Polly, and what with one thing and another.
Now, that reminds me. How are things progressing with my divorce?
Well, we're waiting on developments from the States. You see, you were married in California, your wife resides in New York, you're domiciled in England. It isn't simple, Charles.
I don't care if it's as complex as the Treaty of Rome, Gerald. Get on with it. My patience is running out.
What happened?
Somebody trying to blow me out.
Oh, come on, Jack. Was a bit strong.
Boats don't explode on their own, Tom.
Yes, they do. Gas?
There's no gas on board.
Fuel?
Tell the culprit it's probably flares.
The police?
Boats don't explode. And the boys in blue take an interest.
You think it could be flares?
Absolutely impossible. Weren't any on board.
Well, there is no other possibility as I see it.
There is one.
I came in for the charts. Do you know where they are?
Aren't they aboard Barracuda?
No.
Well, ask Bill, he'll know.
I did. He didn't. Dad should have seen to it, but he's visiting Jack at the hospital this morning.
We could try the other office.
Right. How is your father?
Oh, it's going to be all right, I think.
It's a shame. I'm sure it'll work out. Well, Dad's already in touch with a couple of men who could take Barracuda solo to New York. Frank Eversley, for one.
Oh, yes. Eversley could do it. Doesn't have the same publicity value, though.
Can't be helped.
I'm thinking of 300, maybe even 400 bedrooms.
Would the area support such a large hotel?
At the moment, probably not. Now, we'd have to bring in the customers. We'd have to provide the attraction. If we have a big hotel, we have everything that goes with it. Banqueting, Rotary clubs, seminars, all that kind of thing.
Well, you're still looking to attract an enormous amount of business.
Exactly, business. In addition to a marina complex with all the modern facilities, plus a hotel, preferably an international chain, and that's something else I want to discuss with you very carefully. But in addition to all that, I'd also like to see an office block.
An office block? Oh, come on, Charles. I mean, they'd never pass that.
That's not what we'll call it. I want to create something a little different, not just offices. What I'm thinking of are small to medium-sized businesses who wouldn't be able to afford or who wouldn't have the requirement to run the whole range of modern communications and computer equipment.
So we supply it for them?
Exactly. Secretarial pool, digital and off-peak transatlantic telephone connections, boardrooms and conference rooms for hire, word processing and computer rental, post offices and banks. Possibilities are endless. And all located within an efficient and a scenic complex. Now, you tell me, Gerald, how the hell are the environmentalists going to object to that, eh?
That's impossible.
It's not impossible at all. That's what he thinks.
Well, why should he be jealous? He's got nothing to be jealous of.
But I can't see it in his eyes, in what he says. He thinks you and I have a big romance.
Claude, he's not even my husband.
So what? To be unfaithful to a husband or a wife, that is understandable. Regrettable, perhaps, but understandable. To be unfaithful to a lover, and that's what Ken Masters thinks you must be, that is unforgivable.
And I don't agree.
Ah,
I think it's because he's spread himself too thinly on all sides and he can't lay his hands on the money. He's overstretched himself.
Yes, that is another reason.
It's got nothing to do with his emotions. Milk?
Yes, yes. If Ken Masters was not so infatuated with you, he would not be so jealous.
And if you hadn't jilted your fiancé, he'd have nothing to be jealous about.
Ah, there are things I find I cannot do. Not even for Mr. Masters.
Claude, what happened? Why did it end?
Oh. She wanted 100% of me, and more. Sometimes that was possible, sometimes not. When you are young, you meet someone, you fall in love. Life is more an empty book. You can devote yourself wholeheartedly. As life becomes more full, friends, travel, business, it becomes harder to devote all that energy and time. That's how it was with me. She needed someone who could give himself completely.
Do you know what I find truly depressing about all that?
No.
I understood every word.
One other thing, Gerald, which you must keep under wraps.
There isn't anything else, Charles. You've thought of everything. You've covered the entire spectrum of man's recreational and business needs, from plimsolls for his early morning jog to brandy for his nightcap.
There is one need we haven't catered for. A gambling casino.
Oh, Charles, I very much doubt whether you get away with such a thing.
Why do you think I'm interested in all this, Gerald? An upmarket Butlins? You know me better than that. What I'm talking about is a top-drawer, sophisticated gambling venue for high stakes. Not a bank for fruit machines. A Marine Crockford's with a profit characteristic that'd make your hair curl. And that's another good reason for getting Viscount Cunningham on our side. Makes the whole thing instantly respectable.
Isn't this going to be a bit of a blow to Tom's plans?
Well, I suppose you'll have to find someone else to sail the boat. I mean, that's what happens in business, Ken, when things go wrong, isn't it? You think of an idea, you need finance, and you go to a bank, and then if they say no, you have to think again. Try to find someone who will finance you, will take the risk. And then you carry on banging on doors until you find someone who finally says yes. Is that right?
Thus obeying the first rule of private enterprise. Be tenacious.
Doesn't that apply to me as well as everyone else?
Oh, yes, of course.
I meant Claude and me.
What do you mean?
Just that. We need finance. We need backing.
I am really pleased you brought up this subject.
Ken, I need an answer. Yes or no?
Well, it's yes and no.
Well, what's that supposed to mean?
Yes to you, no to him.
But he's the important one in this. Without Claude and his designs, his reputation, I don't have anything to offer. I'm nothing.
Of course you're not. Look what you've done in the
Ken,
boutique.
what have
It's
you got
fantastic.
against Claude?
Nothing.
That's not true.
Yes, it is.
You're not basing your decisions on common sense. You're allowing your judgment to be influenced. It's very bad, Ken, for a man who claims to be a shrewd operator.
I don't think you and Claude in any position...
Claude and my relationship is purely financial. Now, if you're...
It's your judgment that needs looking
Ken, will
at.
you listen to me? Now, supposing we hadn't been lovers. Supposing I was someone else. I mean, supposing I was a man. Can you be that objective just for a minute? What would you say then to my business proposition?
I wouldn't mind you being a man, so long as I was a woman. I'm sorry it was a joke. All right, it was a bad joke. OK, it was a lousy joke. OK, so it wasn't a joke at all.
That noise you're going to be hearing is Claude and me banging on doors.
And I'm not against Abby doing whatever it is she wants to do. It's just that sometimes people protest just because it's the fashion.
Is that what you're saying I do? Orange said people, darling. He doesn't care because he wasn't brought up here.
I admit it, and I'm not going to stay here either.
Yeah, but that doesn't stop you having some feelings for the people who do live here, though. Oh, well, if that's why you've organised the petition to test public opinion, now, what could be fairer than that?
Yeah, I guess so.
Hello, darling. We're all dining in tonight, and the Lewises are coming over. Truce?
Very apt.
I already feel shell-shocked.
Bad day at the office.
I wasn't at the office. I was with Charles. Traffic's dreadful. Could do with some roads in this country.
Yes, as I was going to say, in respect to this proposed development, in the States, the property boys would ask for maximum business zoning, the conservationists would demand that nothing be built, and the result is somewhere halfway.
It's the same here, isn't it, Gerald?
Normally, yes. But I sometimes suspect Charles Frere's great-great-grandfather on his mother's side was Armenian.